What's up, guys, and welcome back to Wake Up Entertainment. So Bongani Ntanzi made it very clear that he does not know Mjiyako was trying to represent him up until he got removed from representing Bongani Ntanzi. So surprisingly, it turns out that Brigadier Gininda had a hand in Mjiyako representing Bongani Ntanzi. This is where Advocate Mnisi then started questioning Gininda as to where exactly did Mjiyako really come in from.
Now, is there an instance in you trying to collaborate, whatever that you could have been collaborating, in which you found that accused number 2 requested at the police station or at the various police stations where he was housed an indulgence to make a call to call his legal representative?
So the answer, my lord, is no, and that's the first part. To answer it specifically. Secondly, the corroboration I was referring to relates to Exhibit HH and JJ. What is contained there, not the circumstances of his arrest and where he was kept. It's in relation to Exhibit HH and JJ, my lord, specifically.
Yeah. Now, when you went through those occurrent books from the police station and other registers, did you ever find a hint that accused number 2, there was a point at which you approached those the guys at the police station and requested them to make a call to his attorney? That should have been described. So if it ever happened.
Well, yes, it's supposed to be, my lord. So yes. So the answer is no, and I can confirm, my lord, because I observed the section 205, and in the phone that was found in possession, or alleged to be found in possession of accused 2, there is a communication with Mr. Mjiyako's number there with accused 2 on a certain date, my lord, and we can go into those records if perhaps there's a misunderstanding in that part.
When was that call made, according to your analysis of that information?
My lord, I don't remember the specific details. Like I said, it's in the section 205. So I know that my attention was drawn into that when the analyst was analyzing to say this number and this communication is there. I think it's a please call me, if I recall correctly, my lord, to the attorney or vice versa. But my recollection, I think it was a please call me sent from accused 2 number to the attorney's number, and I can confirm that, my lord, obviously, if specifics are needed.
So Brigadier Gininda, in his defense, as you heard there, the only link that he has between Bongani Ntanzi and Mjiyako is just that please call that was made between these 2. And that is what he is holding on to say there was actually a communication and Bongani Ntanzi actually agreed to being represented by Mjiyako. But we all know that does not hold any water whatsoever. If indeed it is true that there was a please call me that was sent between these 2, okay, fine. But what about the call itself? There is no record of any communication of a phone call. So what Gininda is trying to do by proving this please call me in court as communication, he is just trying to play games with us here. Because a please call me is not a proof that Bongani Ntanzi agreed to be represented by Mjiyako. Now, surprisingly, if we move on, you will also see that Mjiyako is nowhere to be found in any law school records. He is not even seen there, his name as an advocate or anything. So you start wondering and questioning yourself and like, does this Mjiyako guy really exist? Of course, yes, he exists, but he is not a real lawyer from these records that we are seeing. So you can clearly see that this Mjiyako guy was really organized by somebody else to represent Bongani Ntanzi. And we still don't know why and who organized this Mjiyako guy to represent Bongani Ntanzi. And there are so many questions to the way this Mjiyako guy was actually representing Bongani Ntanzi, because Mjiyako himself, he didn't lay any complaint whatsoever after Bongani Ntanzi was detained for up to 8 days when he then appeared in court. Mjiako was just like folding his hands and watching Bongani Ntanzi being kept in detention and just doing nothing about it, not even challenging it. So this Mjiako guy was just so questionable. So to put all of this madness to bed, the defense should simply file an application for this Mjiako guy to be called to come to court and give evidence on what was his duty, who called him to represent Bongani Ntanzi. Basically, he should be called to court to come and testify and give his side of the story as to what exactly happened, because this guy is out there and he is not being questioned, and he has to be brought to court and come to answer for himself as to what was he really doing. Because what is also surprising about Mjiako is that he is actually a legal representative for the police, but somehow changed and became a lawyer for Bongani Ntanzi to represent him. It's really unbelievable. So if the defense really presses hard on this one, on this Mjiako issue, they can definitely win this one, because this Mjiako guy is just some mysterious character that should be unmasked. They just shouldn't allow this one to just pass without pressing this issue really hard, because this is an easy win for the defense. And surprisingly, during the cross-examination, when Brigadier Kininda was being pressed about this "please call me" that was sent between Bongani Ntanzi and Mjiako, Advocate Baloyi would continuously stand up and start interrupting the cross-examination of Advocate Mnisi. It's like he was trying to protect something, as he was not happy with these questions about Mjiako. It's like he wanted this question to just pass and we just move on to the next question. Advocate Baloyi just wasn't easy during that time of questioning about Mjiako. So since Mjiako is like a state witness, he should be called by the state and not the defense. But the state has obviously made it clear that they are not going to call Mjiako. So Judge Rata is like at the center too here, because he also confirmed like this was like an own goal by the state itself when it comes to Mjiako, because this picture of Mjiako is not very clear. So obviously lawyers use their own strategies to make sure that they win a case, and if they see that there is a witness that might weaken their case, they are obviously not going to call that witness. So this is the same thing with Mjiako. If they call him, the state knows that he is going to weaken the state's case, so they're definitely not going to call Mjiako. So right from the very beginning, it's very clear that Mjiako's involvement in this case with Bongani Ntanzi, it was never to advance the interests of Bongani Ntanzi, but Mjiako himself was like working against Bongani Ntanzi, because Mjiako himself, he never visited Bongani Ntanzi to take instructions from him whilst he was in prison. He never did any of that. He was just there, just like a placeholder to say, okay, there is somebody representing Bongani Ntanzi, but he was nowhere to be seen himself. So this is all of the mystery with Mjiako. Tell me what you think in the comment section, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.